All right, boys, let's go.
What's up, everybody? I'm Cheech with another Northeast Offshore report. Kind of a little bit of a whimper we're ending this, going down the stretch with. This is normally the most exciting part of the offshore season, one of them anyways, where that kind of fall transition typically rewards the people that are still out there getting after it with some of the most insane fishing of the year. You get big fish on inshore pogie schools. You get, a little further off, a lot of times you'll get fish on half beaks that are those like cookie cutter, 50, 60, up to 70-inch wreck fish, catching them on stick baits. That is one of the most exciting deals going because when they're on those fast half beaks, they're airing out. Other years, you also get a little bit of a butterfish bite in the mix, which can make for some really frustrating albie-like fishing on the wreck tuna. But with wreck closed, the effort has really fallen off. And I mean, my heart goes out to the guys making a living, the charter guys. I mean, that's another thing. You call a lot of these people and they're like, the ones that are able to give you a good report because they've been going 3, 4, 5 times a week. Nobody wants to go. I don't really understand it, but I kind of also get it because it's like, you go out, you spend that money to burn all that fuel if you have your own boat and do all the things that, you pay to do with the goal of being like, all right, yeah, I might have paid $200 a pound for this bluefin tuna, but I'm dishing it out to my family and friends, and it feels good. It's like the cherry on top. So that element missing, I don't know. It's obviously hurting the effort on the wreck side of things. What hasn't suffered has been the canyon effort and the commercial effort. So this report has a lot of that, from top and bottom. We've had some of the most insane canyon fishing from top to bottom of our coverage area that one could ever wish for. I mean, the Canyon Runner crew will go through and detail all of that, but it's been killing both Jimmy and I. Jimmy's not here. He's filming a TV show up for Steelhead, the bluefin tuna of the river, if you will, which is a pretty cool species, but that's why he's not here. That's been kind of the theme. You've had a lot of effort on the canyon side of things. It's been killing us to not have been able to get out on that beach bite that just kind of wrapped up, got quiet, picked back up again, it seems. So I'm going to kind of kick it, from north to south and bring you through this week's report, starting with Captain Bob from Seacoast, New Hampshire Sport Fishing. He said, it's okay out on the giant bite. It's picked up a bit. Interestingly, bites are now spread throughout the northeast corner of Scantum, Inner Jeffries, the Cove, and also further out on the northern and southern end of Jeffries. We're not seeing a mini migration pattern where the fish are circling through, but more bite windows with periods in between where some fish are marked but not biting. With the September moon here, he hopes that changes. Blue sharks are a real problem. Surface temperatures are in the mid-60s, and it's paying to load up on extra mackerel before heading to the ledges. And on a bad day, the shark bycatch is real tough. With the level of blue sharks on the ledges, it's getting tough to get bottom fish up for down rod use. He said also pollock have moved in force. It's so strong that it's been hard getting a haddock or legal cod, even if the sharks were kind enough to leave you alone on the way up. The guys with the live well chillers are grabbing some whiting from around the mud hole, then hightailing it out and getting bites. Also, he knows of one guy further south who brought out a couple of bluefish and connected on a kite. Fish are still averaging extra large with no wreck fish seen this past week. Seeing a giant bluefin eat a kite bait's got to be one of the most exciting things that you could ever witness. Moving on, I talked to Connor from Monahan's Marine. He said that he caught the end of that epic beach bite. Short window due to weather. They lost a bigeye on a nomad. He said he's heard that the dragger bite is still happening south of the island, so south of Nantucket and the Vineyard. If you find the draggers, there's going to be giant bluefin tuna, following those things around. And still, there's some bites to be had in the bay, but there'll be 100 boats for 10 bites. So you're going to have competition there on the commercial days. The weather buoy and then west of Fishing Ledge, he basically said that 150-foot to 90-foot water has been the sweet spot for depth. They've produced bites through Plymouth all the way through to Scituate. It seems to be bait related. So you having, a biomass of bait that's setting up in that 90 to 150 feet of water. That's mostly going to be probably peanut bunker, full-size pogies, mackerel. The absence of herring is kind of probably forcing those fish to kind of hunt a little closer to shore, which is why you're seeing a consistent bite in that 90 to 150 foot mark. He said the southwest corner has also had some fish. He marked some streakers his last time out that turned out to be lookers. We've all had those days. It can be pretty frustrating. Fish mapping is SiriusXM Marine's most comprehensive plan and is available on your boat's display and includes access on your phone or tablet via the fish mapping app. Serious anglers use every advantage available, and SiriusXM marks the spots where bait fish gather and game fish hunt. Learn more at SiriusXM.com/fish mapping. Knowing that the wreck scene has been quiet, I took it upon myself to reach out to Tyler Huckmeyer over at the Helen H. One of our favorite boats to get out on locally when you want to get to the canyons and, don't have the opportunity to just be part of someone's crew. All you got to do is open the wallet, make a reservation, and you're on the way to the edge. The theme has been headed home early and heavy for the Helen H. The trips have been loaded with yellows. He noted a lot have been more manageable in size, so it's made it much easier for people of all experience levels to navigate through a full boat. And I say full boat, they only usually have 20-something, low 30s for numbers on a very, very big boat, so there's plenty of room. But he said they're still plenty respectable in size, but they're manageable. So you go out and have a great shot of hooking and landing this class of yellows that they're experiencing. He said there's been some nice big eyes in the mix as well. And he said overnight has been 99% of the catch. A lot of times it can make for a long night if you don't really have a good chunk bite developing, but that's been a theme throughout this entire report, that the chunk bite, day or night, has been very productive. They also had a nice wahoo on the troll in one of their last trips in the 60-pound class, and he also wanted me to note that the Helen H operates several boats, all different types of trips, right? Inshore, offshore, all year long. They're really looking for some experienced first mates to add to the Helen H crew. If that sounds like something you'd be into, reach out to Tyler. Just call the main number, ask for Tyler, and let him know that you're interested. And who knows, maybe you'll get a job out of this report. You can thank me later. Moving a little further south, I talked to Will King. He goes by @WillieFish on Instagram. Check out this stud yellowfin on the inshore grounds, 134-pound Allison. Real impressive catch inshore, especially, from the Northeast. Beautiful fish, but the way they caught him was super cool. He said their last trip, they had a limit in 1 hour on the inshore yellowfin grounds. They were hand-feeding them peanut bunker. It had them stuck to the boat like glue, and it was lights out until there was no more room, and they headed home. With this stud of a yellowfin that you can see in the video here. Great job to Will, who's been having a pretty epic season. Talked to Jeff LaMonaco. He echoed the same thing on the inshore yellowfin side of things. 40 to 50 mile range, has some awesome inshore yellowfin fishing, mainly jig and chunk, with a little bit of popping in the mix to wet your whistle on the popper side of things. Canyons have been flat out awesome. If you can get out to the edge, the canyons have been super productive. Giant fishing, he says, ratcheted it up in the 10 to 15 mile range, a little closer home. That's been predominantly a live bait bite. Moving on further south, talked to Fisherman's Supply, Point Pleasant, New Jersey. They also operate a very well-known head boat known as the Voyager, and he said the tuna chunk bite has been going really, really well. They've had about 40 to 50 fish per trip on the chunk and jig, and last few trips they haven't had to go all that far. The inshore grounds have been super productive. He said there's been mahi in the mix as well, and just all in all, that kind of a deal.
This report is brought to you by Okuma Fishing Tackle. Whether you're battling big game offshore or casting from the shore, Okuma gear is built to perform when it matters most. Learn more at akumafishingusa.com.
Speaking of ways to get out, the UVT Giveaway's last week to enter is right now through the weekend. So get your entries in. You can click the link in the description. I'm going to make sure my boy Adam here puts that link in the description. It's an awesome giveaway. There's over $13,000 in prizes, including 4 jig and pop offshore tuna trips. You know, it's a great way to get out and not have to spend any money. All you have to do is enter to win, kick in your email because you'll get a sneak peek at some of the brand new UVT lures before anybody gets eyes on them in your inbox, which is super cool. But you can enter to win. You got trips being offered up by Dying Breed Sport Fishing Captain Riley Wright. He fishes out of Mass. Salt of the Earth Sport Fishing Captain Ray Jarvis. He also fishes out of Massachusetts, wherever the bite is. Predominantly, he's in the kind of Westport area, but he'll trailer his boat to where the bite is. He actually gave us a report this week, said he's been enjoying some super lights out fall run fishing inshore lately, in between the offshore windows. Trips have been loaded with blues, bones, and albies, and most recently, over the last couple days, the albie scene has exploded. This might turn into an albie report before we get to the end of October. He said offshore there's still some wrecked bluefin to be had. The bite has been sporadic after Aaron. Some giants close to home and larger wrecked fish are randomly popping up near shore. He says that this is a great time of the year to find bluefin just a few miles out on balls of pogies and mackerel, and some of his most memorable bluefin have been caught from now through November, just a few miles outside of Westport. Thank you, Captain Ray, for that report. On Top Sport Fishing is another trip for somebody that may win it in that tri-state area. Captain Mark Horn fishes out of Barnegat, New Jersey. He pushes a beautiful contender center console offshore with regularity. We'll try to get a report from him. He was out fishing when I had called earlier this week. And moving through to a regular on this report, keeping it real sport fishing, Captain Chris Oliver is another one of those very, very respectable charter captains that you could win a trip from this contest on. He fishes out of the New London, Connecticut area, fishes on a big comfy rampage. His last couple of trips have been traveling far to the eastern canyons. He's been getting in on that awesome lights out bite. He said bigeye and yellowfin abound. It's been loaded. All you could catch, any way you wanted to catch him, chunk, jig, or troll, it didn't matter. He said at one point the bite was so crazy that we couldn't count to 4 before we were tight, and the hot color was the Shore Catch Pink Glow UVT jig. That's been a real popular color all year long for a lot of people. He said they've just enjoyed multiple trips with limits of yellowfin, topped off with some really nice big eye. Got a few pictures down below in this report from Captain Chris. Appreciate the weekly reports from him. And then last but not least, you still have the chance to win that UVT and Zach Custom Rods custom tuna jig and stick. It's a 5-foot 8-inch medium, almost an $800 jig stick right there. So whoever wins that's going to be super stoked about that win. And then there's 3 UVT fishing bundles comprised of jigs of all different weights, colors, and Murray poppers, which have been the hot ticket on the popper bite pretty much throughout the summer. Get in early and often. It's going to be fun to make those phone calls to let, I think 8 individuals know that they won. So we appreciate you guys following along. Appreciate you entering those giveaways. Without further ado, I'll kick it over to the Canyon Runner crew. The Offshore Report is also brought to you by Canyon Runner, who will provide a very detailed synopsis of the fishing throughout our coverage area. The Canyon Runner sport fishing team is here to help you catch fish. They offer coaching and concierge services, seminars, and the Canyon Runner map, powered by VM, which will exponentially help increase your catches inshore, midshore, and out in the canyons. The report they provide gives you a sampling of how the Canyon Runner map works, which serves as your co-captain, providing all the fish catching and safety intel, including a built-in warning system and more. It gives you the ability to track over 600 member boats and 24 pro staffers in real time. Check them out at www.canyonrunner.com. And if you want to take the Canyon Runner map for a quick test ride, you can download the CR Map app from your app store and use it free of charge for 2 weeks. Your free access will be limited to boats within 10 miles of land, but it'll give you access to all the features to decide for yourself if it is right for you.
Good afternoon, Jimmy and Cheech. This is Captain Dean Lambros from Canyon Runners Coaching and Membership Services, giving you the Offshore Report or the On the Water podcast. We had another incredible week here, September 1st through the 7th, of a lot of fishing, a lot of coverage, and we're just going to go over and highlight it. We'll start out, as always, from south going to north. Right now, I have the sea surface temperature overlaid on our boat map here. And as you can see, we had a lot of folks fishing this week. We'll start down here of North Carolina. These folks were all fishing due northeast of the inlet, going just south of that Norfolk Canyon. Good mahi fishing, good white marlin and blue marlin fishing. Probably haven't seen fishing like this in almost 10 plus years off North Carolina. Really good, nice blue water edge right on the 100. A little bit further from the inlet than normal, but these folks are getting into them right now, and it's flat out good. So if you have an opportunity to get down there, you should get into it. And we expect to see this for the next month here off this location, which is really awesome. We've even had members fishing down in Morehead City right now, which is pretty much wreck 'em wahoo fishing here. Real nice water up 82 degrees. They're catching those fish up inshore, 20 to 30 fathoms. Moving north and east, we'll just go in just a shade here. You can see this is going to be the Washington Canyon through the Poor Man's. Those folks are fishing anywhere from 70 to 200 fathoms, all in that area, and they're catching anywhere from 2 to 15 white marlins a day. We've had reports of up to 30 bites certain days and a lot of mahi, a lot of dolphin in here for the Ocean City fleet. Same thing for the Cape May fleet. And you can see we even had boats fishing out of Great Egg Inlets. They were up in the Linden Call, Wilmington. So you had action up in there as well, and a good quality white marlin and mahi fishing. They've had to pick and choose through their weather, and since we are seeing the end of Labor Day here, we do see that crowd slow up as folks are going back to school, kids are going back to school, and so we have had the crowds thin out a little bit, but it is excellent fishing up and down the road here right now. We have right now in that Tom's to Hudson area, it's been on the slow side, but what we are seeing is really good chunking yellowfins at the Bacardi area. We've seen the party boats in there. We've seen our member boats from south of Long Island down as far as Atlantic City, going north and east, making those long runs, and they're doing well. They really are. We're seeing anywhere from 2 to 18 bites in a day. Some folks are having to weed through the sharks, but it's been really good fishing. And we're even hearing scattered reports of giant bluefin right in here, right on time, just as we've suspected here for the September opening. Bluefin tunas in the 85-inch class on bluefish up here to the west, right in the donut area. So there's going to be in the shipping lanes here. So this has been good right in that Ambrose area. Moving to the east here, we've had real limited action, dip, fishtails, buoys, but we have seen some bigeye and some scattered longfin and yellowfin throughout these areas. And then right here's the star of the show. As you can see here, we have the back edge, nice eddy formation here. This is going to be the Veach to Atlantis's, and it's just really good. We've had pro staff boats, our member boats, and they're doing well on yellowfin, and they're doing well on bigeye too, double-digit bigeye, and some really nice fish. I'm hearing fish up to 275 pounds, which is what we like to hear. Great September fishery, so we look forward to that as that eddy starts to track west. We've been tracking this eddy for almost 2 months now, slowly moving its way west, and we're just now getting it within range here, 125 miles of the point of Montauk. So this is very exciting. It's a great development for these folks here. South of Montauk, we're hearing of a dragger bite, giant bluefin tuna and school bluefin tuna, but obviously recreational is closed at this point. And then we're also seeing boats here fishing for white marlin. They're not really getting the right wind, unfortunately, right now, which is a little atypical. It's usually pretty good this time of year, but we're not seeing that. But we are hearing a really good dragger bite for giant bluefin tunas. We've had members with 10 plus bites in a day, and they've had up to 6 in a boat. Those are the practicing catch and release and harvesting. So really good. Obviously, they're fishing on the right fishing days because we do have RFDs in effect. Overall here, we're starting to see finally to the north. Finally, it's starting to turn on here. Crab Ledge, Regal Sword producing good quality bluefin from 70 to 95 inches. And then up here, Stellwagen Bank, Cape Cod Bay, Jeffries area. Finally starting to see some fish in here with some consistency, which is good. A lot of bait on the banks. They're seeing the right types of signs, some porpoises, visual signs of fish. Not a lot of school tunas up and down here right now, which is interesting. But again, a lot of that is just has to do with effort. You just don't have quite the effort anymore. It's post Labor Day, and the recreational tuners are closed. So we do wish good luck to all those that are fishing, and thanks for joining us for this week's offshore report.
Let us know what you've been seeing out there. If anybody's getting out for some fun bluefin fishing or whatever you're getting into on the offshore side of ththings, hit us up. I'm Cheech232323 on Instagram. Send a DM, some photos, some video my way. You can hit Jimmy Fee up at James T. Fee on Instagram as well. We love to hear from you guys. We appreciate the support. And until next week, hopefully I'll have Jimmy Fee back here. And we'll get you guys the next update in the Northeast Offshore Report. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll catch you next week.